Hello guys, in today's video I'm going to be walking you through step-by-step method on how to factorize any quadratic expressions. So if you are a student of mathematics, be it in junior or in senior, you must have the ability to first recognize a quadratic expression whether in any examinations or any questions given to you. Firstly, you must be able to recognize a quadratic expressions, and at the same time you must be able to factorize it correctly. So factorization to some of the learners or some students are very challenging, but if you understand it, how to factorize it correctly, if you understand it, you won't have any problem or any challenge factorizing quadratic expressions. So if you are just joining me, my name is Mr. Israel and I'm a mathematics teacher. So if you are joining us for the first time, please click on the subscribe button on your screen and turn on the notification bell so that when I drop tutorial videos on mathematics related topics, you'll be the first person to notify. So without wasting much of our time, let's dive into it.
Alright, you're welcome back. And I've said earlier, today we'll be learning how to factorize any quadratic expressions. Now, a quadratic expression is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is a real number and is the coefficient of s squared. S squared is a variable, and we have b is the coefficient of x, while c is a constant number. So this is the general form of a quadratic expression. Every quadratic expression has the variable to be raised to power 2. Every quadratic expression, and that's the way you can identify a quadratic expression. The highest power of the variable will be 2. So in this first example, we have 5x squared plus 5x plus 6, and we are asked to factorize. If we are asked to factorize this expression, then what is the solution? How are we going to go about it? So the first thing is to look at the expression and look at the coefficient of this first term here, s squared. And we can see that the coefficient here is a is equals to 1. And look at the coefficient of x here. You can see that one is b, which is equals to 5. And we look at the constant number here, which is c, which is equals to 6. So what we are going to be doing is actually to find the factors of 6, which is the number here that we add up to giving us 5. So if you look at the factors and you begin to write all the factors down, see that 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Those are the factors of 6. And if we take the first 1 and 6, we have 1 plus 6. The sum is going to give us 7. While 6 minus 1, the difference is going to give us 5. Right? So in this case, we have in this case we have this one not giving us sum to be 5, while this one is giving us one of the number is plus while the other number is minus. The product of this one will give us minus 6. So minus 6 is not what we have as a constant. So we have 5. So we look at 2 times 3, which is going to give us 6, and 2 plus 3 will give us 5. So we'll see that 2 and 3 is the perfect numbers, which are the factors of this expression. So we are going to further ahead take the expression out, x squared, then we now see that the 5x, we now have chosen the factors to be 2 plus 3. So when you are writing it in terms of x, we're writing as 2x plus 3x, 2x plus 3x, then plus 6 plus 6. So you've been able to factorize the middle term into 2x plus 3x. 2x plus 3x will give us 5, while 2 times 3 also will give us 6. So that's the perfect term. We group this expression into 2 in pairs. Group it in pairs. Then we now look at the common factors of x squared and x. Common factors is what? X. Now if you use this x to divide x squared, we're left with x. And if you use the x to divide the 2x, you'll be left with 2. Now the common factor of 3x and 6 is 3. So we bring out 3. If you use the 3 to divide the 3x, you are left with x. And if you use the 3 to divide 6, you are left with 2. Now you can now bring the 2 terms here. That is outside the bracket, x plus 3. Then put it in brackets, and these two expressions here are the same. Okay, so x plus 2, put it in bracket. So you've been able to factorize this expression. So your factor is x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 2. And if you want to check if your answer is actually correct, you can multiply this one times this, which will give us x squared, and multiply the same x with 2 will give us plus 2x. Multiply this 3 here with this x will give us plus 3x, and you multiply this 3 with this 2 will give us plus 6. So if you simplify this expression, we have x squared plus 2x, plus 5x plus 6. So this is factorization is actually the reverse operation for expansion. So that's good. We are going to do another example now. In this example, we have x squared plus 4x minus 12. So similarly, we still list out the quotients. We have a to be 1, and we have b to be plus 4, and we have c, which is a constant number, to be minus 12. So this is what we have as the coefficient of that. So similarly, we are still going to bring our number plus 4 and minus 12. So in this case, we are looking for two numbers that we add up, that we multiply to give us minus 12, and we had to be plus 4. So first one, we have minus 1 times 12. Okay, so 12 plus minus 1 plus 12 will give us 11. So this is not the perfect way. So in the second one, we have 2. We have 2 times 6, 2 times 6, and we also have 3 times 4. In this one, we have, let's say, minus 2 times 6. Minus 2 times 6 will give us minus 12. So let us see if minus 2 plus 6 actually gives us plus 4. Minus 2 plus 6 is actually plus 4. So factors of this is, we are going with minus 2 and 6. So we have gotten the factors that multiplied out to be 12, and the same factors add up to be plus 4. So we call our expressions that we have here. So that first term is x squared, and the second term now will now be broken down into minus 2x plus 6x. So we have to write it as x squared minus 2x plus 6x minus 12. So we have x squared minus 2x plus 6x minus 12. So in this case now, when we have done this, we'll now group this expression in two pairs. So we take this, group it, take this, group it. So once we have grouped this, we now have two pairs. Now we can look at the common factor in the first bracket here. You can see that x is the common factor because x can be divisible by x squared. We bring out x out of the bracket, we have x. So if we use x to divide x squared, we will be left with x minus, if you use x to divide 2x, we'll be left with 2. So in this second bracket, we have 6x minus 12. You can see that 6 is a common factor that can be divide 6x and 6. So we use 6 plus 6, which will, if you 6x divided by 6, we have x and minus 2. So if you observe, expressions here in the first bracket is the same expression in the second bracket. If these expressions are two different expressions, then something is wrong with our factorization. So we bring these two numbers out of the bracket together into one bracket and multiply it with this common expression x minus 2. So this, our factorization, is x plus 6 multiplied by x minus 2. Similarly, we can now multiply it back if you are willing to check if your expression factorization is correct. I will take another example. So in this case, we have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. In this case, now we still list out the coefficient of the first term. We have the first expression will be a equals to 2, and we have b equals to minus 5, and we have c equals to minus 3. So we have our a to be greater than 1, so it's 2. So since our a is greater than 1, we cannot use minus 3 as the number. We need to multiply a and c. So we have 2 times minus 3, which gives you minus 6. So in this case, we will take minus 5 and minus 6. Now we are looking for two numbers that we multiply together to give us minus 6, and when they add it together it should give us minus 5. So let's see, we have minus 1 times 6 will give us, and we have minus 2 times 3. So minus 1 plus 6 will give us plus 5. But if we reverse it to minus 6 plus 1, it will give us minus 5. So we see that our factors are minus 6 and 1. So since we've gotten the factors to be minus 6 and 1, we now proceed to call back our expression and break this term, this minus 5, into minus 6x plus x, because we know that 1 in terms of x means x coefficient there. So we are going to write it as 2x squared now minus 6x plus x minus 3. So we have grouped them. Now we group them into that. Now we can now take out the common factors of this bracket. We look at the first bracket, 2x squared minus 6x. We can see that 2x is a common factor that can multiply, that can divide these two terms in the bracket. So bring out 2x. Now if you use 2x to divide 2x squared, we are left with x. And if you use 2x to divide 2x to divide 6x, we are left with 3. Now in this second bracket, there seems not to be any number to that is a common factor. So when there is no number that is a common factor, that shows the common factor between them is 1. So we bring out 1 out of the bracket, plus 1 equals to x minus 3. So once you bring the two numbers or terms out, so that is outside the bracket, you group them together in a single bracket. We have 2x plus 1 and we have x minus 3. So this is a complete factorization for this expression, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. So we'll do a last example and I hope you've been able to understand. So in this last example, we have 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. A quick reminder, if you are getting much values from this video, I want you to click on the subscribe button and share this video with your friends in order to help me to reach more students that are willing to get improved in mathematics. Now 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. Now similarly, we have our first term a, coefficient is 3. Then we have b to be 10 and we have c to be minus 8. So these are the numbers that we've seen out of it. Coefficient of x squared is 3. Your coefficient of x is 10 plus 10 and constant is minus 8. So we cannot use this like this. We cannot use minus 8 and 10 because our a is greater than 1. So we're going to multiply 3 by 10 by minus 8 to find our AC. We have 3 times minus 8. So that gives us minus 24. So we have two numbers we can add that will give multiply that will give us minus 24 and the same thing when we add to give us 10. So let's look at for the numbers. Two numbers we can multiply together that will give us minus 24. Let's look at minus 1 times 24. Minus 1 plus 24 will give us minus plus 23. So we cannot go with that. We have 2 minus 2 times 12. So you can see that minus 2 times 12 will give us minus 24. Let's look at minus 2 plus 12. That gives us plus 10. So you can see now that the factors are actually not is not minus 2 and 10. It is minus 2 and plus 12. So we have splitted these factors, this plus 10, into minus 2x plus 12x. So factorizing this first bracket, we have 3x minus 2. We are factorizing 12x minus 8. We can see that the common factor between the two terms is 4. So we have plus 4. First for 12x divided by plus, 4, we have 3x minus 2. So we have 3x minus 2. Once we bring these two terms outside the bracket together, you have a first bracket x plus 4 and second bracket will be 3x minus 2. So this is the correct factorization for that particular expression. So to check it, as I said earlier, I want to check, you expand it back, you multiply this 3s x by 3s gives you 3s squared, you multiply that same x by minus 2, that gives us minus 2x. You multiply this plus 4 by this 3s, that gives you plus 12x, and multiply that plus 4 by minus 2, that gives you minus 8. So you have it to be 3s squared, you simplify it, plus 10x minus 8. So this is it. So I hope you've learned one or two things from how to factorize quadratic expression into this video. So yeah, I want you to stay with me on this channel and click on the like button and subscribe to the channel. Comment on the videos on factoring quadratics and share this video with your friends in order to help me to reach more of students. Thank you and see you in the next tutorial.